Thursday, August 14, and this is InfoHub. In the headlines, President David Granger extends sympathy to government and people of Italy in face of recent tragedy. Education Ministry to retain specialists to determine percentage of salary increase for teachers. Maida officially declared a town and can participate in upcoming local government elections. And Finance Minister Winston Jordan assures that National Resource Fund will avoid mismanagement of national patrimony. Now for the details. President David Granger, on behalf of the government and the people of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, offers condolences to the government and people of Italy after the Morandi Bridge in the city of Genoa earlier today collapsed, killing at least 35 people and injuring several others. The president further expresses sympathy to the families of those who lost their lives as well as those injured as a result of the tragedy. The president says he stands with Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte as the government deals with the rising death toll and works to restore normalcy after this tragic incident, the deadliest of its kind on the European continent since 2001. Minister of Education Nicolette Henry has indicated that the government will retain a specialist to determine the percentage of salary increase for different categories of teachers. Details in this report.
The ministry took the decision during a meeting last Thursday, August 9, when a delegation headed by Minister Henry and representatives of the Guyana Teachers Union met to discuss proposals by the union for a multi-year agreement with the government on salaries and condition of service for teachers. According to a release, while there are some difficulties honoring all the requests put forward by the Teachers Union, Minister Henry implored representatives to be responsible enough to ensure that as many benefits as possible from the new approach be carefully considered and accepted. It was agreed to that both teams will carefully consider what was discussed at the meeting and agree to an early date for further discussions. The ministry said it listened to the union and expressed hope that it equally paid close attention to the counter-proposal offered. The GTU had proposed an across-the-board increase in salary of 40% for 2016, 45% in 2017, 50% in 2018, 50% in 2019, and 50% in 2020 be granted to all categories of teachers. The counter-proposal by the ministry stated that the government will make available a ballpark figure to facilitate an increase in salaries for all teachers based on the current salary scale. Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali, who was also present at the meeting, said that while the Guyana Teachers Union demands are not unreasonable, consideration should be given to the economic status of the country. She said that it is not the end, but rather a continuous process in which both parties should be planning and preparing for better times. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
First Lady Mrs. Sandra Granger was paid a courtesy call by Dr. Ansari Amin, lead consultant at the Pan-Caribbean Partnership Against HIV/AIDS PANCAP. The meeting served as an opportunity to update Dr. Amin on the First Lady's work as a PANCAP champion for change and to discuss areas of expression for the organization's Champion for Change initiative. The meeting took place at the office of the First Lady at State House. Maida in Region 8 is now officially a town and is cleared to participate in the November 12 local government elections. There were some delays with Maida officially becoming a town due to issues with internal boundaries. Alexis Rodney tells us more.
Maida is now cleared to participate in the upcoming November 12 local government elections. The new town was among a list of communities identified by President David Granger in 2015 to be commissioned as towns. The other three, Bartica, Lethem, and Maburuma, are already up and running. However, Maida was having some delays due to issues with internal boundaries. On Monday, a Ministry of Communities release said that government named the town following the end of a series of consultations. The release said, quote, "The ministry shares the excitement and is encouraged by the transformation that has taken place in the three recently established townships as a result of local leaders seizing this opportunity of this empowerment exercise. These new urban centers are important allies in assisting to close the gap that exists between the hinterland and coastal regions," unquote. The ministry said that the foundation for the new township's transformation began with the upgrading of 80% of the internal roads to concrete and will last for decades. Plans have been advanced for the construction of a government compound that will house a number of government agencies such as the Guyana Revenue Authority, Guyana Lands and Survey Commission, the Guyana Water Incorporated, and other agencies. Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkin told InfoHub recently that there is so much to be had from the townships and lauded the development in the newly designated towns.
I'm sure that DPI has visited these townships and have been able to see firsthand of the dramatic transformation, the revitalization that have taken place in those townships. And I think it goes without saying that we feel vindicated the President's vision in creating these new towns, that it was a wise decision and it was the right thing to do.
Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Finance Minister Winston Jordan says the National Resource Fund will ensure the sustainable use of revenues from the petroleum sector to achieve a diversified and green economy and, moreover, to avoid the mismanagement of the national patrimony. Details in this report.
According to the Finance Minister Winston Jordan, the paper captures key issues and mechanisms that will ensure the sustainable use of revenues from the petroleum sector to achieve a diversified and green economy and avoid the mismanagement of the national patrimony. It will also act as a guide to avoid the dreaded pre-source curse and ensure that all Guyanese, especially youths and future generations, benefit from the windfall revenues.
The first of these listed objectives, stabilization, is particularly important for resource-rich countries that are dependent on natural resources for two simple reasons. One, commodity prices are volatile, and two, production levels can be difficult to predict. These two factors can result in unstable revenue and, by extension, government spending, which will negatively impact the stability and scale of social programs and interventions. To achieve this, a portion of revenues will be invested in safe and liquid assets external to the domestic economy.
The Green Paper also proposes the investment of portions of petroleum sector revenues in foreign markets to prevent an economic collapse or the depletion of the country's oil reserves.
This also allows for public spending during resource extraction to be maintained or increased long after extraction has ended. Given the uncertainty surrounding the future of fossil fuels, it is necessary for savings to begin from day one of production. To achieve this function, revenues will be invested in diversified portfolio comprised of financial assets external to the domestic economy with long investment horizons and higher expected returns.
The Sovereign Wealth Fund is now called the National Resource Fund and was touted by the Minister of Natural Resources, Raphael Trotman, soon after the confirmation of an offshore oil discovery in 2015. The Commonwealth and other international stakeholders were engaged in the drafting of its contents. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Why when I drinking, I get smoking on? Hey barman, y'all don't sell cigarettes anymore?
The new tobacco law says we can't have cigarettes on public display and we can't advertise that we sell it.
Okay, give my part.
You can't do that in anybody. The law states that you can't smoke in an enclosed area. You have to go outside.
I think that's how they do it in foreign. So, the last time we come together, I'm glad you.
Let's all work together to prevent cigarette smoking related illnesses.
In our next report, Tiffany Rogers tells us that Minister within the Ministry of Natural Resources, Simona Brooms, met with residents of Buxton to discuss the setting up of a mining syndicate.
Minister Brooms told Buxton residents that with the advent of oil and gas revenues, mining syndicates could explore safer mining practices.
Mining is a business, it's very expensive. But comrades, what can we do with some of this money from oil and gas that can help our people and empower our people in communities all over this country? Yeah. What kind of support is needed, even if you got to get the technology moving into green mining? Your government will have money to put equipment, to put the necessary tools that are there. You don't even have to go through the struggle that I've been through.
The Mining Syndicate initiative was developed to give small-scale miners access to quality mining lands and level the sector's playing field. It is the brainchild of Minister Brooms, a former miner. Ministry Coordinator for Syndicates, Kirk Limerick, explained how syndicates benefit communities.
The whole initiative is designed in such a way that you work together, and it would work so well with a community like yours where you have a togetherness. You work together. So when Tom Jones starts mining, everything that Tom Jones make doesn't go into Tom Jones' pocket. Tom Jones would pay over a percentage to the syndicate. Those funds can then now be plugged in to help John Jacobs to get his operation started. And as he gets started, he pays back the money that was loaned to him to start his operation, and he also pays his percentage. And that helps somebody else.
Since its introduction last year, a national mining syndicate has been established, comprising more than 14 mining syndicates. For InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
Starting this Friday, the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated, GPL, will be conducting a series of outreaches to communities across Guyana with the aim of improving customer relations. This was revealed by Divisional Commercial Manager Rhonda Lafargue. Here's more.
GPL's Divisional Commercial Manager Rhonda Lafargue said the outreaches are aimed at improving customer relations.
We want to be more customer friendly. We depend on our customers for business. So we're going out into the communities so we can interact with our customers. It's not always convenient for customers to come to our offices, so we are going to go to some strategic areas and spend the day there providing information, answering questions, taking applications from customers in their neck of the wood to make it easy for them.
The first outreach is on Friday, 17th August at the Massey Stores in Providence, on Friday, 24th August at Bounty Supermarket on Water Street in Georgetown, and on Friday, 31 at Giftland Mall. The sessions cater for persons unable to visit GPL locations. They begin at 10 o'clock in the morning and end at 15 hours or 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Customers that don't want to come all the way down to Main Street or to go all the way up to our office at Grove, they can actually just stop in at Massey and, collect any information they need, ask any questions they have. And if we can't answer it on the spot, we'll certainly get back to them. Bounty on Water Street, yes. So that is for customers in that vicinity that may have queries that don't have the time to come down to the office to ask the questions. We are actually there so they can ask the questions.
Customers are advised to walk with their account number when making any inquiries. Applications for new services will also be accepted at the outreaches. Other documents required are proof of identification, proof of tenancy or ownership, and a certificate of inspection when applying for new services. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
The launch of the American Chamber of Commerce in Guyana is expected to promote America-Guyana trade. Tiffany Rodius was at the recent launch of AmCham here and has more to tell us.
AmCham Guyana was launched Monday evening at the Marriott Hotel. The association's president, Zulfikar Ali, committed to fostering relations between the private sector and the government.
We are aware that Guyana means business, and with AmCham Guyana we can assure you it will not be business as usual. We want to bring new ideas, new technology, and new skills to the market and be the leader in private sector change.
Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Carl Greenidge encouraged the association to pay special attention to trading beyond primary resources, especially services.
We are one of those states where our export of services is negligible. And that is something that is important, and I make this point in a forum like this because it is an indication to you, one of our aspirations as a government and our hope that you as businessmen, whether you are Guyanese-based business or US-based business, to understand that our prosperity also depends upon the diversification of the Guyanese economy.
Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin noted AmCham Guyana's introduction could increase business between the two countries. He gave assurances that the government is working to eliminate the bureaucracy to doing business locally.
And our government is taking action to automate many of the inefficient business processes that are currently causing grief and encouraging corrupt practices in Guyana. It is a slow process, but that process has started.
AmCham Guyana is a voluntary association of U.S. enterprises and individuals doing business in a country, as well as firms and business executives of that country who operate in the U.S. U.S. Ambassador to Guyana Perry Holloway said it was the perfect time to launch AmCham.
AmCham Guyana will promote and create U.S.-Guyana trade and business opportunities and partnerships. It will also share in the exchange of best practices for institutions and systems building. Both American and Guyanese companies will benefit, as will the people of Guyana and the United States.
There are 17 local and U.S. companies that are on the board of directors of AmCham Guyana. For InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
Thanks, Delicia. We now leave you with your bridge and weather report.